poor, lacking material possessions or the necessities of life. At times, inferior in quality. Also, pitiable because of spiritual deficiency. The problem of poverty is an ancient one. Down through the centuries the needy generally have outnumbered those having much. When accepting an act of generosity, Jesus recognized the hard fact that poverty would persist among humans living in imperfection, saying to his disciples, "For you always have the poor with you, and whenever you want you can always do them good, but me you do not have always." Mr. 14. 7. The Bible presents a balanced view of the problem, expressing compassion for those suffering under oppressive conditions, while also reproving those who, in effect, eat their own flesh because of indolence. EC 4. 1, 5. PR 6. 6-11 It stresses spiritual prosperity over material prosperity. 1T6. 17-19. Hence, the Apostle wrote, "For we have brought nothing into the world, and neither can we carry anything out. So, having sustenance and covering, we shall be content with these things." 1T6. 7, 8 But the scriptures do not portray material poverty as a virtue in itself, and they warn of the temptation to steal, which extreme poverty may bring. PR 6. 30, 31. 30. 8, 9. Contrast F4. 28. The poor in Israel. It was not Jehovah's purpose that any of the Israelites suffer poverty. The nation was given an inheritance of land. New 34. 2-12 All Israelite families, with the exception of the Levites, who received a tenth of the produce of the land for their service at the sanctuary, shared in that inheritance and therefore had a means of supporting themselves. New 18. 20, 21 Land holdings were secure. Laws of inheritance ensured that the land would continue to be held by the family or tribe to which it belonged. New 27. 7-11. 36. 6-9. De 21. 15-17. See inheritance. It could not be sold in perpetuity. La 25. 23 In the Jubilee year all hereditary lands that had been sold were restored to their rightful owners. La 25. 13 Thus even if a man squandered his substance, the inheritance could not be forever lost to his posterity. Faithful adherence to God's law would largely have prevented poverty among the Israelites. La 15. 4, 5 However, if disobedient, they would not have Jehovah's blessing, and this would lead to impoverishment due to such calamities as invasions by enemy armies and severe drought. De 28. 22-25. Compare JG 6. 1-6. 1 Chi 17. 1. 18. 17, 18. Just 5. 17, 18. Individuals, because of being lazy. PR 6. 10, 11. 10. 4. 19. 15. 20. 13. 24. 30-34, drunkards, gluttons. PR 23. 21, or pleasure seekers. PR 21. 17, could bring poverty on themselves and their families. Then, too, unforeseen circumstances might arise that could plunge persons into poverty. Death could leave behind orphans and widows. Accidents and sickness could temporarily or permanently hinder a person from performing necessary work. For these reasons Jehovah could say to Israel, "Someone poor will never cease to be in the midst of the land." O textoi acute miritra longo, poplars, torrent valley of 653 Pharisees, were more concerned about tradition than instilling genuine love of neighbor and proper regard for aged and needy parents. Mount 15. 5, 6. 23. 23. Compare Lu 10. 29-32. The money-loving Pharisees had little interest in those who were poor. Lu 16. 14. Christ Jesus, though, felt pity for the crowds, because they were skinned and thrown about like sheep without a shepherd. Mount 9. 36 His declaring the good news to the poor and oppressed stood in such marked contrast with the attitude of the religious leaders of Judaism that it constituted one of the proofs that he was indeed the Messiah. Mount 11. 5. Bu 4. 18. 7. 22 To responsive ones it also opened up the glorious privilege of inheriting the heavenly kingdom. Mount 5. 3. Lu 6. 20. Being in a covenant relationship with God, the Jews were under obligation to assist needy fellow Israelites. PR 14. 21. 28. 27. Isla 58. 6, 7. As 18. 7-9 Appreciating this, Zacchaeus, upon accepting Jesus as the Messiah, exclaimed, "Look! The half of my belongings, Lord, I am giving to the poor." Luke 19. 8 For the same reason, Christ Jesus could say, "When you spread a feast, invite poor people, crippled, lame, blind. And you will be happy, because they have nothing with which to repay you."